not because you were not invited or you had better plans, but because you were expected to be dead. 12 years ago, I received my death sentence. So if you ever wondered what a terminal cancer patient who overlived his expiration date looks like, you're looking at one. I was diagnosed with two types of cancer, kidney cancer and pancreatic cancer, with almost zero chance to survive. I was told I have 6 months to live, only 6 months. My name is Tamir Gilad. Some of you might remember me as the professional goalkeeper for Maccabi Tel Aviv. Others might remember me as a lawyer or as an international entrepreneur. Friends knew me as a devoted family man and proud father to 3 daughters. I was the guy who had it all, until one day this all came to a sudden stop. On February 2011, I received my first death sentence. According to statistics, in my condition, 51% do not survive more than 2 months. My doctor told me, Tamir, you have no chance to survive. I advise you to forget about treatments. Take a trip around the world and say goodbye to your beloved ones. No wonder this guy is no longer my doctor. At that time, my youngest daughter, Mia, was only 18 months old. Gabrielle was 3 years old, and Alma was 13. I knew that if I died now, my toddlers would never get to know their father. On that day, I made a commitment to stay alive. I had a keen desire to leave my daughters with guidance on how to live meaningful life. That was 12 years, 3 months, and 3 days ago, but who is counting? When cancer patients receive death sentence, uncertainty becomes an integral part of our lives. We never know if we get to live another day. A close friend once told me, Tamir, in your condition, I wouldn't buy green bananas. Soon after my being diagnosed, I went through a very complicated surgery, a Whipple procedure for my pancreatic cancer, and a left kidney nephrectomy for my RCC. Some major internal organs were cut and taken out, and a few weeks later, I started chemotherapy. That is when I first met my angel, pancreatic cancer specialist, Dr. Talia Golan of Sheba Medical Center. For a short while, things looked a bit better. But soon afterwards, I once again felt that something was in disharmony in my body. I called Dr. Golan and told her, the cancer is back. The metastasized spread in my liver. Unfortunately, I was right. Dr. Golan looked at me sadly into my eyes and said, Tamir, we have no more options, treatments for you. No more options. That was my second death sentence in 6 months with no right to appeal. I went that night to bed knowing I needed to prepare my family for final goodbyes. A couple of days later, Dr. Golan called me and told me about a new clinical experimental trial led by Sheba Medical Center, cooperating with some major medical centers in the US. The clinical trial was basically planned for ovarian and breast metastasized cancer patients, carriers of the BRCA, of the BRCA gene. Talia told me that they decided to let a small group of pancreatic metastasized cancer patients carrying the BRCA gene to participate in this experimental trial. And this phase 1 trial of AstraZeneca, by the way, it globally were altogether 400 participants. 10% of them, about 10% of them were metastasized pancreatic cancer patients. The purpose of the clinical trial was to extend life expectancy by a few months. This trial, known as the PARP inhibitor or the olaparib, and it was my first encounter with cancer research. Talia gave me a pile of documents to read. I asked her, where should I sign? She said, you're a lawyer. Aren't you going to read them? I laughed and said, considering the fact you just told me I have a few more months to live, won't it be a waste, a total waste of precious time reading those boring legal documents? Immediately I signed, and a few days later, I started trial. It was a very challenging protocol. Taking 16 pills twice a day, fasting 3 hours before and after each dose, suffering from endless side effects, and keep praying I still met the criteria for the next month tests. It was very challenging to educate myself how to live with zero certainty whether I'm going to get my next dose in the end of the month or I shall be sent to the hospice. After 13 months, the trial coordinator told me that the trial was over. Appears to be that I was the last participant in this clinical trial globally. Due to a lack of protocol, Dr. Golan and I decided to keep the same routine. I continued with this drug for 51 months until on October 2015, I felt again that something was out of harmony in my body, and it was not the usual side effects. I went through a simple ultrasound and received my third death sentence. My body was full with metastasis. I followed my instincts, and I took a very uncommon personal decision. I decided to go through a second complicated surgery in order to take out of my body most of my metastasis mass. Most of my remaining internal organs were cut or taken out. So, as to my internal organs, I will make a short stock taking for you. I'll make the calculation very simple. The only two internal organs in my body that remain untouched are my heart and my lungs, and my smile. But as we know, smile is not an internal organ. As soon as I recovered from the surgery, I was being advised by Professor Anan Berger, the director of oncology from Sheba, and my kidney cancer specialist, to start a new clinical trial. Immunotherapy treatments, known as the EP-NIVO protocol, to be followed by the NIVO protocol after the 4 treatments of the cocktail of the EP-NIVO. That trial was expected to extend my life expectancy by up to 24 months. I started to take the NIVO at December 2015, and I still receive the NIVO until this very days. Last treatment was last week. Once again, cancer research has saved my life. People ask me, Tamir, what is your secret? I don't have any secrets. It's just my way. My way is composed of 3 G's that I like to call my TGs. T stands for Tamir. And the G's are goals, giving, and gratitude. By setting goals, by giving to others, and by developing gratitude, you achieve self-sufficiency, joy, and the ability to cope with personal catastrophes. Soon after my first diagnosis, back in 2011, I met my first G, goal. My wife Karen initiated a fundraiser at our home for ICRF, the Israel Cancer Research Fund. Listening to the breathtaking lectures of Professor Ronit Sachi-Fainar and Professor Neta Erez at my home garden, I experienced an enlightenment. It became clear to me that my role is to serve as a human laboratory, and that I would devote my remaining time, excuse me, I'm a little bit excited, I devote my remaining time in my life to support cancer research in Israel. I am a living proof that cancer research works. I realize that I am holding a key for making people understanding the importance of supporting cancer research. My main goal became to convey the message that our social responsibility is to support cancer research and to raise big money for it. I started follow and support the ICRF. It's a unique philanthropic charity that funds the brightest Israeli cancer researchers, and voluntarily became the chairman of ICRF back in 2013. ICRF was established in the mid-70s, soon after the Yom Kippur War. It was a traumatic period in Israel, and the brain draining phenomena had started. Too many Israeli scientists were flying abroad and not coming back. ICRF realized that Israel was a home for the most precious cancer research brains in the world, and we had a vision to establish a non-profit charity organization that would philanthropically support the brightest cancer researchers in the country and become synonymous with a standardization mark for cancer research. ICRF unique peer review of 50 cancer research leaders from North America, conducting exceptionally pure, unbiased process with goal to assemble every year the dream team of the Israeli cancer researchers. Throughout the past 47 years, ICRF gave more than $95 million for grants to more than 2,700 research. ICRF is the only real cancer research charity in Israel. My second G is giving. Thanks to my journey, I realized that giving love and support to cancer patients is a fundamental source and hope and energy for cancer patients, and it is also upholds my own mental strength. After I escaped my death sentence in 2011, cancer patients started calling me, and my magical giving circle started. Since today, I supported voluntarily more than 1,250 patients and their families. Supporting terminal patients is very complicated, challenging, and often heartbreaking. At the same time, it is also a privilege and the most rewarding feeling I have ever had. My third G, gratitude. As you can imagine, living in my condition is very challenging. I still have metastases in my liver and in my spine and take immunotherapy treatments every 4 weeks. I'm facing multiple side effects. By the way, I think that one of the reasons that I'm a bit slow now is because I'm starting a HIPO process, so I apologize. Side effects needed to support my body with injections and more than 20 pills a day. This is, by the way, my pancreas. You can see. And yet, here I am, alive and kicking and grateful for every breath I take. The fact that I am standing here today with you, smiling and thankful 12 years after I was given 0 chances to survive means so much to me. It is another exciting, meaningful event in my personal roller coaster life journey. An event that I was not expected to attend. Cancer research, and you all are a major part of it. My story is not a My story is not about me. It's about you. It's about cancer research and about cancer researchers. I'm standing here today thanking you, and I wish I could personally hug each one of you. As always, at the end of my talk, I devote a special moment honoring my beloved wife, Karen, who passed away from breast cancer on June 14th, 2017. I wish to personally thank each one of you, as I said, for devoting your life and your career to cancer research. I personally know many of you and dear you all. However, since it will take a long time, and we have a tight timetable, and due to the fact that wine is being served soon at the lobby, I will shorten the list. First, my very dear friend, Professor Ronit Sachi-Fainaro, our host, and we have so many titles, so I will escape it. Second, to my very dear friend, Professor Neta Erez, the Vice President of the Vice Group. And third, to my dear friend, Professor Karen Abram, that is not here now. Special personal thank to my precious personal oncologist, Dr. Talia Golan and Professor Anan Berger, well to live, for tolerating me for so many years. I hope many more to come. Last but not least, special thanks to my loving, significant other, Vicky, that is here with me and escort me to all my activities. Thank you so much. The guidance I want to leave for my 3 beautiful daughters, and I'm also offering you all, is the 3 TGs for a better life. Goals, giving, and gratitude. May we all meet again in the next convention. Thank you so much.